Okay, I was asked today about how to do a basic rendering in Joule Beetle. We have an extensive video planned, and we have a lot more work to do still in the materials and in the rendering process. But we do have some basic functionality there today, and I thought I would bring that out here and show you how that's done. My name is Jason Stevenson. I'm one of the 5 team members of Joule Beetle, and I do a lot of the work on the user interface and in particular this rendering UI here that we'll show today. So in Joule Beetle, you may have noticed already the status bar has a lot of information down here, and one of the sections is for rendering. So if we look down here at the bottom, we have a render button, pretty large. We have a toggle switch here that lets you turn on and off the render panels from Rhino. And then we have the material assignment window. So if we bring this up here, you can see we've got materials for ground planes. We have a couple. We have only a single default environment currently. We have a lot of plans for these metals. We have a lot of metals listed. However, really we just have a white gold and a yellow gold for now. And then gems, we have a bunch of placeholder materials in here, but you know, we do have the diamond and we do have some other basic gemstone materials. So this is the start. The other thing, let's see here, ground planes. Yeah, we have a gloss black and the white ground plane. So this material window is used to assign materials, and that's what's going to help you get your render look the way you want here. I know if you've tried to render, you may have had some issues. If you click render out of the box, you're going to notice it's pretty blurry. Things are out of focus, and you're kind of wondering what's going on. So what's happening is the Bella render has a very advanced set of capabilities, and one of those is depth of field, which is apparently on by default. So one thing we can do is you turn on the toggle switch here at the bottom, and then that'll show the render panels. Then you go to the focus mode. So at the top here, we're in the properties pane from Rhino, and there's different modes. There's the properties mode, the safe frame mode, and the Bella mode. So if we go to the Bella mode, at the top, focus mode says manual. If you change this to pinhole is what you're going to be looking for. That's the standard that you would see with a lot of other rendering products that don't have an actual camera lens emulation process. So Bella is very advanced. It has a lot of capabilities, but it does take a lot of adjustments to get, if you're not just looking for the basic renders, if you're trying to do depth of field and some other advanced techniques. But if we just switch to pinhole, that makes everything simple. So if we do pinhole and then I click render, here you're going to see things are now in focus. Of course, we don't have any materials applied to anything, so it's still just a basic white image. We'll go ahead and close that. Next up is the render tab up here, and this is showing you that Bella is our current renderer, and then it shows you the resolution. And then a quality. So the higher the quality setting, the longer the render is going to take to complete. And if we scroll down to the bottom, there's another section here where it talks about the solver. There are a couple different render solving engines built into Bella. Saturn is one, Atlas is the other. And by modifying these, it changes the behavior of how the light is calculated, how the reflections are calculated, and all of that sort of information. One of the things that does determine the length of render, though, is target noise. So if you bring this up to 10, it will complete quicker. It will allow for more noise in the image for the final image. If you bring this down to, say, let's say 5 or 6, then that's going to render just a little bit longer. We'll go ahead and click render. And you'll see at the bottom here it shows you how long the render is taking and an estimation on how long it's going to take. Of course, materials make the difference, right? So this took only 5 seconds because the materials aren't yet applied. So let's go ahead and apply some materials. So I'm going to go ahead and select all the metal. We have 115 objects on that metal layer. We'll bring up our material assignment and we'll choose metals. We'll just go sterling for now and assign. And next, let's do the gems. So we'll do these 12 gems. We'll do those in diamond. So if we go to gems, go to diamond and hit assign. Next we'll go to these gems and we'll say let's do those as how about sapphire? Sapphire blue assignment. Okay. And these 4 we'll do is rubies. And we'll do the center as, I don't know, citrine. I'm not a jeweler by any means. Next, we're going to give it a ground plane. Let's throw a gloss black ground plane, and we'll make sure the default environment's applied. And we're ready. So now we've got all the materials assigned. If you click on an object, you'll see at the bottom it says the layer the object is on and the material that's applied. So you can quickly see what materials, or verify if you want to see, what was the gem? Oh yeah, that's sapphire blue. We'll go ahead and click render at the bottom here. And there we go. We got your citrine, we got your sapphires, we got your rubies. We had diamonds, I think, on the smaller gems. And it's still going 60%, 70, probably a 15-second render. Well, maybe a little longer. 20 seconds. And when it's done, the little stop sign goes away, and there you go. That's your finished render. And you can change your resolution, and that makes a big difference. If we zoom in here, let's turn that so we can see those diamonds. And we'll do render again. So with the Bella render, you're going to notice that a lot of the materials, the metal materials, will render in very quickly. But then, of course, all the complexity of calculating the light and the reflections and all that goes into gems is what takes the longest time. So that'll be the last part. As it's getting up towards the end of a render, that's going to be what it's calculating more. You'll see some more small refinements start to happen towards the end of the render. But, of course, you can stop it at any time. If you're like, that's good enough. And then you can save it off and do whatever you would normally do with that. That's the basic premise behind render. We don't have a lot of materials yet. You can, of course, mix up your own materials. You can use the materials editor in Rhino and apply your own materials. That's all possible. We just don't have a good, simple user interface for that yet, and that's what we're going to be working on real soon. If you guys have any questions, make sure to email support@jewelbeetle3d.com and post any questions you have up on the forum. We love hearing feedback from everybody there. Thank you.